Anything?
Okay, everybody, we are now live. Welcome everybody to another Bite-Size Branding live show. As not like usual, there is no Grant today. There's no Grant because Grant is currently on a plane between Sydney and Melbourne, flying back from South Africa. He was going to jump on in the lounge while he was at the airport, but for some reason, the unthinkable has happened, and they moved his flight up, which I'm pretty sure never happens. I don't think it's an actual thing. I think he made it up. But that is the situation that he's currently in. So unfortunately, he's not going to join us. And I think this is the first show that I've ever shot with him where he's actually, well, not with him. There's the first live I've ever had to shoot without him. So I brought in a replacement. Surprise guest Maddie May has joined us today, who also was the one who introduced us to Lisa. So Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. And Robbie Merritt, we've known each other for 5 or 6 years, I think now. Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, getting there.
And when we kind of came up with this concept, we wanted to talk to people about creating content and engaging content. And I knew you had an awesome following. And when I told Maddie about the show, she's like, you should get Lisa on. Lisa's killing it on TikTok. And that's how we ended up with both of you on the show. So thank you both very much for joining us.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for having us.
An absolute pleasure. Look, I'm going to kick to, see, this is Grant's bit, and I forgot. So I'll do Grant's bit. So everybody who's joining us who hasn't seen the show before, Bite-Size Branding is all about bite-sized chunks of information and knowledge all around branding, marketing, advertising, and business. And we like to bring people in here that can share that knowledge, share those insights, especially as the industry keeps evolving. But we're all restricted to the timer, which is usually 5 minutes when it's Grant and myself. But because we have guests, we always give it an extra 2 minutes for everyone to say their piece. And then that's it. Then we cut you off. No, we usually do like a little wrap up before we kick into the next subject. 3 questions, 7 minutes. And we'll get into it in a little bit. But first off, I'll kick it to Robbie. Robbie, please give everyone a little bit of an introduction about yourself and everything that you have going on, your multitude of entrepreneurial adventures.
Thank you. There is a multitude. I'm actually celebrating my 61st birthday. I've just had that. So I'm now 61, going to 62 this year.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It was actually a few months ago, but I'm celebrating.
Yeah, birthday month.
It's every day. One thing I learned, I started my career back in the 1970s, right? And in the late 70s, when your parents were young kids, and I wanted to be a photographer. My father was a builder, so it was like, you can't be a photographer, you've got to be a builder. That didn't go down well, right? So it wasn't until I started winning awards that then I got a job at Channel 7 at the age of 16 and a half as a studio photographer, that my parents' attitude changed to, my son works at Channel 7. Parents can be your worst enemy, and we all know that. So then during the years, I worked in film and television. I still remember taking the first headshots for John Stevens when he started Noiseworks, and I'm seeing John in a couple of weeks. So it's great to still be in touch with these people. I was there when Mark Holden was handing out roses to people in his white suit on Countdown. It was just crazy life. And I always knew that I wanted to work in photography, which I did. And during that period, I moved into sales. I back to photography, back to sales, got married. I had an upgrade, got divorced. Things happen. And then, I eventually moved to Sydney. Moving to Sydney, then we had the COVID. And like during that period of time when there's lockdown, everyone, and I'm sure you all had to do it, you have to reinvent yourself to survive. You have to sit back and think, what do I need to do? What is my passion? What can I do? So I started learning about film and television. I started learning how to be a script writer. I learned to write better articles as a journalist. And sometimes I took photographs, but only sometimes. And even then it was mostly, here, look, smile with the phone. That was it. But one thing that I did understand is that when you've got these lockdowns and you've got these times, it doesn't matter what age you are, reach out to people with experience. reach out. And I was lucky enough to, Bernard, you may have been on that Zoom meeting with Stephen Bernstein, the writer of, White Chicks and Waterboy, and an amazing cinematographer, and he's been mentoring me. So we do get a lot of experience, and now I'm halfway through my first Netflix production of Mother. It's a psychological sci-fi. Thank you. It's on IMDb, and it's going to be a 36-minute episode, and it's already been accepted in awards in countries I can't talk about. So, and that's just based on my trailer. So it doesn't matter if you're my age or your age, or a beautiful young lady like Lisa, who is a creative designer and just an amazing person. You're never too young to reinvent yourself and do something. Find that passion. That's enough about me.
That's awesome. What a great start. That has been the most fulfilling intro I think anyone's ever done on the show.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I should have started with you. I'm sure kill it.
I've been researching this woman, and don't be modest. Tell us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So my name is Lisa Simbangs, and I'm a TikToker, body positivity influencer. So I began my journey in the creative industry as a fashion designer initially. So I started off my Lisa Simbangs label about 6-7 years ago, and started selling at Manly markets, at Kirribilli markets, Mossman, and then got my designs stocked in some boutiques locally as well as overseas. So that was going well for me, but there's definitely a lack of knowledge in terms of scaling my business, and also understanding of business in general, because I only studied fashion and designing and creating garments. So taking things to the market, like sewing things and doing these kind of things very hands-on way, was not really profitable in the long run, and there was like a wall that I hit in terms of growth. But within the time I've been doing this, I've met a lot of influencers and other creatives, and in that way I was really exposed to social media and making it as an influencer. So I began to do more of that work. So I began to post on TikTok when it actually started. So maybe 3 years ago, it kind of changed from something called Musical.ly to TikTok. And I just picked it up from the media. I saw lots of influencers posting about TikTok, and I was really intrigued to join this platform because it was very creative, and something that I thought was lacking in Instagram is the ability to be more creative, other than in terms of photography. You can post a lot about videos and editing and music. This was something really new and exciting that I hadn't seen before. So I wanted to get on board, and I just began posting some things, doing trends, and was really excited about it. And then I started to realize that posting about body positivity topics was really resonating with my audience. So that's what I decided to niche down on, to talk about the fact that I've been a flat-chested girl struggling with body image for all my life. Yes.
Oh, I have seen it. So I'm not even really on TikTok, but your content, like other than what Maddie has shown me, has like infiltrated my other social networks. Yeah. So it must be good enough. Because so I don't spend that much time on social media. People think I do. I really don't spend that much time. So if it was memorable enough that I remember seeing it, then it's pretty good. So
that's really exciting. That's great to know that. Yes, some of my videos went viral, and things. Yes, exciting things seem to be happening after that. So I'm excited on this trajectory of doing TikTok and influencer work.
Okay, we're gonna spend like 20 minutes just doing intros. So
yes.
Thank you both so much for joining us, and that's an amazing story. Thank you, Shane, and Robbie, also an amazing story. I think the great takeaway is, no matter where the ups and downs lead you, if you remain agile and you don't base your decisions in risk aversion or fear, then you don't find yourself in a stop. You find yourself finding new opportunities to build something, and that's what it's all about. that's what all this creative thinking and expansiveness is about, and what this show is trying to present. And in that, guys, let's start off on the first question. Now, what happens typically is people get way too hyped when I ask the first question. They jump in, but make sure I get that timer before you do, okay? So are you ready for your first question?
Yes.
So what types of content, obviously, Lisa, you've kind of mentioned a little bit about this already, but what types of content do you believe gets the highest level of engagement? What type of content that you're creating? When I hit this little baby, there you go.
Yes, so it has to be entertaining, inspirational, or educational. This is what I've learned, but also really, I think original content and something that's really personal to your story really resonates with audience. So doing trends and things for TikTok and other platforms is good. It takes you to a certain level, but what really resonates and go viral is you talking to the camera, sharing an anecdote, sharing a funny story, doing a skit, something like this is really original, and people are really going to follow you, because even if you go viral on a trend, they might not know really about you as a person, your personality, because you're not talking to the camera. So once you put in your voice and your personality more into the content, I think people are more engaged and more likely to follow you.
That's something we often talk about is putting that like authentic self onto camera. And that's like, you know, those guys like Gary Vee and Cohen Ray and everything. That's how they create their traction. It's not just about their product or trying to sell a service. It's actually about why, their why, both in life and in business, to what they're creating and why they're creating it. And I wish Grant was here, because you almost said his favorite word, which is edutainment. And that's what he always refers to as the kind of content that people just gravitate to and engage with, is educational and entertaining, edutainment. Cool, thank you. That was spot on, actually. I feel like I just said it. Robbie, love to hear your insights, man.
What I have discovered, and I've been doing this for 7 years now, is 7 years ago, I wanted to split my branding into different categories, right? I wanted to be the Robbie Merritt with the camera, which was the Instagram, the Click 645. And I ended up getting such a following of models and other photographers. And of course, you know, it's flattering. Okay. But then I wanted to brand out into Sydney Headshots to show the actors that I would do headshots. So I started another Instagram account, Sydney Headshots. Then a lot of people knew that I'm also a makeup artist and sponsored by Aphrodite Cosmetics, a beautiful mineral makeup. That's their plug. So I started off the Sydney Makeovers and Aphrodite Cosmetics. And then my work in fashion, I worked with Fashion Blog. And I created, so I've got about 14 different Instagram accounts, and nobody knows that I own all the Instagram accounts. So when I do a post, I tag in Fashion Blog, Tycoon Magazine in Dubai, which I'm the editor for. I tag in everything, and it gets shared out on a global basis. And then anyone that's seeing the tags from Tycoon Magazine or Fashion Blog or Fashion Week in Italy, they go, what's that photo? And my following builds slowly in all the different platforms with every post. Now, I was shocked. I had a coffee with you, Bernard. It must have been 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. We were at Angel Place.
Yep.
Right? We're having coffee at Angel Place, right? I had an idea 3 years ago that on the walk back, you asked me what I was doing, and I was pulling my mobile phone out. I was taking pictures of just useless things. There's a coffee cup. Here's the reception area. There's you and me having coffee. And I kept posting them on Google Maps. I kept posting on, instead of putting Angel Place, I would put them on Google Maps on Angel Place. When asked for a description, I put Robbie Merritt. Every cup of coffee, instead of putting cappuccino, I put Robbie Merritt. Every food picture, Robbie Merritt, Robbie Merritt, Robbie Merritt. How surprised was I to find out that here we are 3 years later, 5.5 million views on mobile phone pictures. Okay. And the secret is to find the iconic ones that people Google where the Uber driver goes. So Day Street Police Station, Parramatta Town Hall, Downing Street Town Hall. Right?
Oh, and you use the
every time an Uber driver puts the map location Downing Street, they see my picture and they click it. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. It's my picture, right? So some of my photos have had 1 million views. Like, gosh, really, really surprising. So you find the iconic place. Do you know how many people in the world every day Google search town hall from all over the world?
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're getting views everywhere. And you know, it was no surprise when I went to King's Cross a couple of weeks ago. I was with a friend of mine. We went into a restaurant. Two very, very happy people walked out. They had a few cocktails. The girl said, "Oh, you're the Google guy."
Wow. It's unknown territory for
because
me.
I'm always doing a selfie. I do the selfie and I go, Robbie Merritt, Robbie Merritt, Robbie Merritt, Robbie Merritt. So that's one side of the brand build up.
Or something.
And that's one side. Instagram is one platform. TikTok is too much for me. You know, I'd rather look at the beautiful pictures and the videos that Lisa's doing, right? I'm old school. So I walk around with the mobile phone, click, 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 click. No surprise, right? When Google turns around and says, I'm on the top 5% of their Google, their Google contributors. Mm-hmm. It's not because of what I've done. It's that I'm smart enough to tag in what tourists look to find, like Opera House, Harbour Bridge, Town Hall, Police Station, Parramatta Town Hall.
I'm Robbie everywhere.
It is. It builds up. If you've got, like, recently we had the big protest march in Canberra, yeah? So I found some stock library pictures of Canberra that I had on my mobile phone from about 6 years ago. And I posted a couple of pictures and I went, Canberra, hashtag Robbie Merritt, right? And also that's 400,000 views in 3 days. It's crazy.
Wow.
Right? So they're the sort of things you can look at, like jumping outside the box. And, it's not difficult. I've seen your Instagram account, Lisa. Okay. So
Great.
you have the Lisa Swinbanks, the fashion label.
Yes.
Split it, right? Split it. But when you tag a photo, you tag yourself, you're tagging all your other businesses. So instead of getting 1 follower, you get 5 followers.
I see. You create your own network, create multiple accounts, tag each other, and it creates a buzz in itself.
Correct. Now also, Vogue Brazil, Vogue Italy, Vogue Brazil, when you post some pictures of your fashion, tag in Vogue Brazil, because then it goes to the tagged pictures. So when somebody looks at Vogue in Brazil and goes, oh, I wonder what's going on, they look at the tagged photos on Instagram. Who's Lisa? What's she got to do with this? They click on it. This is interesting. What's it got to do with Lisa? Who is this guy?
Or 12 accounts or 14 accounts or however many things you have going at once. How is that sustainable for you? Because I have like 5 for all my different businesses and modeling and things. For me, it's not sustainable and I forget to post on them all the time. Do you have like a way of managing
100%. Every now and then I do a Google map picture and for the description I put Poseidon Films.
Yeah.
And they go, who's Poseidon Films? They Google it and they start looking at all my different things that I've got. Right? So it all relates back to Google Maps has been in the last 6 years just a platform for me, free, to build up SEOs everywhere. So if you just Google my name, you'll find there's random pictures everywhere.
So on your Instagram though, how do you always tag all 14 accounts? How do you maintain all 14 accounts and making sure there's enough content coming out?
No. I'll write off the
time, by the way, guys. Total disrespect to the clock. I'm just saying.
Very, 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 very quickly. So say for example, I took a photograph yesterday of a model. It was a video of her just walking in a warehouse, right? So I've posted that. I've tagged her, and I've tagged one of my accounts, Poseidon Films, and I've tagged 𝐁𝐢𝐭𝐞 magazine. The team at 𝐁𝐢𝐭𝐞 magazine in Dubai went, oh, that's lovely. We'll share that. Okay. And I've tagged Poseidon Films. I've loaded it on Click. I've tagged in Poseidon. I've then gone to Poseidon and gone, all you got to do is hit the share button. You don't have to do anything. It all comes in. You go, oh, share. And then you look at the message. 𝐁𝐁𝐿 shared 5 photos and you go, share.
So you keep them relevant. So it's not just about tagging everything. It's about relevant to the content that you're sharing.
That's right. And if people like it, like Lisa, if people like it, they share it. But they're more likely to share it if you mention them in the content and it comes through on their messenger in Instagram. It says, Lisa mentioned you in a story. It already says, click here to share. And it's a no-brainer. People just go click and it's done.
It actually rolls perfectly into the next question, which is kind of a strategic question around how do you commercialize and make a business model that extends a brand's reach using engaging content. And I'm going to hit the timer, and I'll start off by saying something at the beginning here. This is so much easier when I can see it in the screen. On what you were just saying just then, it's something that we do, and a lot of the LinkedIn pros also recommend, is that if there are people that you want to connect with, tag them into information that they would find useful. So don't just post it up and then hope that they find it. Just tag them in. Hey, I think this would be great for you at and add in everybody. But on that question, from your aspects, obviously, Lisa, you have quite a different model and mechanism for your social media content. Robbie, you've obviously used it to develop multiple channels for different business models. What would you suggest to people if they're trying to develop their brand or expand their brand? How would they use it as a commercial piece within their business?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, expanding from Robbie's point earlier about tagging, I also wanted to talk about musicians, that you can tag the musicians if they're trying to promote a new music. I think that's what my influencer friend who's a dancer taught me to do, is use their new music rather than old music. You might like certain music, but the artists appreciate.
I always put oldies in mine.
Yes, I always go with oldies, and I like a sound. I create dancing to like old music, but that's not going to be helpful for the promotion of their new music for artists. So they're unlikely to share it. But if you use their current music that's not really reached top 10 yet, they're trying to push it out, they're likely to share that. So and TikTok is, I think that's exactly why TikTok is so great for musicians.
Yeah,
to artists'
100%.
music and
100%.
So
I'm with you 100%. I do use a lot of Australian artists that I know here in Sydney.
That's cool.
That I found people busking on the streets that are just like trying to get their name out there. And I've talked to them, and I've actually got a beautiful 1.5 minutes of a 3-minute, with 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐳𝐞𝐝. She wrote the song, wrote the lyrics, sings it beautifully. And I've said, look, I've got a scene with a rich girl getting out of bed. The bed is a Versace bed. She's walking down. The whole house is Versace. I want to use your music, rose tinted glasses. Okay. And she said, oh, please, I'm sending it to you now. Do I get credits? Of course you do. For her, it's a turning point, because when my movie's shown at the New York Film Festival, and it's got written and produced by 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐳𝐞, that is a turning point for her. It really is. So a lot of the local musicians, they love what's going on, especially with social media, TikToks, everything else that's going on. Instagram, don't be frightened to add music. A lot of people do their posts and they put the same music all the time, or they don't realize they can search, add music. And like you said, Lisa, find out what's current, because people will love it and share it, right? And you do a lot of comedy on there. You pull some really funny faces too, right? And it's amazing. It is amazing, right? So I'm not going to say that I'm a TikTok fan, but I was watching you today while I was supposed to.
TikTok is great too. But
if we're going to advise direction for businesses, Maddie has been hassling me about doing what is it? Something on Reels on Instagram. This is kind of following the same philosophy.
Do it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Opinions that people are gonna absolutely hate, but they're
apparently
relatable.
I have a lot of unpopular opinions. Extremely controversial in my personal life.
I feel like also when it comes to Bernard, like he has a lot of opinions, he has a lot of perspectives on things, and a lot of people listen to him.
Oh.
You know, a lot of it. I know I said something nice.
Wow, that was really nice. So unexpected. I don't know what happened here. So thank you. But what would you guys say around that? Obviously, music is a great piece, and I think that's what Maddie is highlighting. And then obviously, Lisa, you mentioned as well, jumping on the trending content on TikTok. Robbie, have you experienced this? And then even in your business context, have you leveraged a trend, or have you found other methodologies that work quite well?
Look, absolutely. Let's look at an example of Valentine's Day that has just gone past, right? The number of women I know who are single, who want to post out to get back at an ex-boyfriend or to let everyone know that they're having a great time has been a blast. You know, two of my good friends, they contacted me and said, "Hey, Robbie, do you have any videos of Lamborghinis? Do you have any pictures of like an expensive restaurant? Can you send it to me? I'm going to put it on my Snapchat. I'm going to put it on my Instagram," right? Where I know, like, I had a beautiful friend of mine arrive at my house on Sunday in a red dress and a bunch of 12 roses, long stem roses. And I said, "What are you doing?" She says, "Oh, can we go to the backyard and can you just take some photos of me?" Right? So she'd actually organized a Snapchat for the early hours of the morning with her in a Lamborghini, but that was taken 2 years ago. Then she's arriving and getting out the car in a red dress. It happened to be the same red dress that she wore at my place. Then she was in my backyard drinking champagne, which was lemonade, holding a bunch of roses that she bought. Okay. And there was a big boat going past the back of my house and she was waving at the guy. The guy waved back and everyone's thinking, how does she know that guy? What's going on? Then from that, we went to a restaurant. We had a dozen oysters each, which she paid for, right? And then she asked me if I could put my wallet on the table so she could put her wallet on top of it to say, "Look, I'm with some guy." Right? By 4 o'clock, she's got all of these exes saying, "Who bought you the flowers? Who's taking to dinner? Who's got the Lamborghini? What's going on?" And all she said was, "Where's my flowers?" The next morning, 7 bunches of red roses. It's just people taking it. Hilarious. And it's not just one of my friends that did that. I know 4 or 5 have done the same thing where I've gone, hang on, didn't I take that picture 3 years ago? Right? So social media to me has turned into, yes, we all know about the Tinder swindler and all the rest, but there is I don't even know if there's a name of that for the women that is like the mind twisting that some of these women do.
The catfish queen, that's what it means.
They're not catfishing. They don't want anything from these men except make them feel bad and sorry for themselves.
You didn't see that article the other day? There was a lady who's done $200,000 of butt implants and is complaining she still can't get a boyfriend. I'm like, you probably should have just saved the $200,000.
Yes.
Just not.
Yeah. Learn something more useful, learn something, look inside rather than putting plastic onto yourself. But
do you think from that perspective though, like to kind of put it in a business context, obviously I think authenticity is key. Put out your message, put out your perspective. It's kind of a bit of a minefield, right? If you play the game like your friends did, Robbie, in a business context, it's a bit risky, right? Because you could burn bridges or you could be caught out. But then on the other side, is there a level of too honest? And I realize this is outside of the recording. Yeah,
and that's the fastest way to lose the following, right? Following of people, that's the fastest way, in my opinion, to have people that switch off. Like, I'm unfriending you. I don't want to see your stuff anymore, right? And there are companies in America or couples, for some reason, they make all of these made up skits on Facebook and social media of some girl getting arrested by a cop, and then next minute it's like, what have I been watching for 13 minutes? What's going on? I'm done with this. Unfollow. Then it appears somewhere else, and some girl climbing into the cabin space of an airplane and surprising the fiance with, marry me. And we know it's all staged, right? We never get to the story. We never get to the end of it. Facebook, 30 seconds is my brain. After that, I don't want to know. I'm flicking to the next story. I don't want to know about it. Yeah. The honesty part is, there are the girls that constantly posting, my boyfriend's bashed me. I need a new boyfriend. Today I'm feeling sad. Can someone contact me? Can someone do this? Today is a bad day. I mean, there is negativity, but is it them reaching for the like, the following, the attention? Is it really happening? Right? And it is getting to the point where it is annoying, and I do know that there's
like a victim culture or a dramatization in order to get
getting attention, getting likes, getting people contacting, getting the men to say, "Hey, look, you look bad. Do you want me to take you out to dinner?" but there's the body image. And Lisa, this is what I love what you're doing there. There's posters all over the place with companies now in Sydney, right, supporting the fact that 6 out of 7 girls under the age of 13 have used filters because they're not happy with the way they look. This is girls that are 13 and 14 years of age using filters. And we've seen the dramatizations of them pulling all the makeup up, stripping it all back, and then looking at themselves thinking, I'm ugly, right? And to me, filters has been just like a terrible thing on social media. I'm seeing in the celebrity side of things as well, a lot more celebrities, they're not using filters. They don't care if they've got a pimple. They don't care if they've got something that's not right.
I think if people like something that's not overly edited anymore, I think they've seen enough of that. They want more authentic, natural, like takes, and that's why in my circle of body positivity, a lot of girls post like no makeup or no filter, or this is me posing for an Instagram shot. This is me without posing, like look at my belly or look at my cellulite. Like this is all you can create a certain look with the way you pose. Don't be fooled by what you see on the media. So I think yes, always bringing that light to authenticity, bringing it back to authenticity, trying to help others. Like I think if your channel is all about negativity, drawing people down, like of course people not going to follow you, but if you turn it and try to angle it in a way so you're trying to help others who are in the same boat, like people can then connect with your story.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I would argue that if people are that way inclined, though, that are posting that negative content, social media or not, that's their personality. So I don't necessarily, a lot of the time, people that are posting that content that are looking for that person to feel sorry for them, that's usually who they are as a person, and that's what you expect from them, and that's kind of the standard that they set. So I think it comes down to who you are and who you want to be and who you want to be perceived as, and what you want your future to be, and what choices that you make.
And look, I just to make sure that it's clear, if anyone's listening or just jumped in, we're not saying it's not okay to communicate that you're not doing well or that you might be in a difficult position. But there are other channels, and there are real people that are out there to help you and to lend a hand. So reach directly out to people, and those people that really love and respect you will be there for you. I see it as well, and I agree with you that unless it is a post that is like what Maddie said, looking to help people out of, and I think Lisa, you said it as well, looking to help people out of a situation, give them an avenue, show them that there is a way for them to seek help or assist themselves. That's great. Let's see if we can contribute more of that to help people who are really in these situations find a way out.
I always say to Bernard, you're a product of your reaction to your experiences, and whether you react positively or negatively, you still are in control of who you become and who you choose to be in your future.
Wow, guys, that was deep.
This is deep. This is a great
yeah.
podcast. This is a great
and really educational. Yeah, it's great.
Well, we'll jump on to the last questions. Sorry to cut it off. We have, if Grant was here, I would be getting crucified right now.
Yeah, you
I would be so much. He's not here, thank God.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
So this question, a bit close to home, but will also help other businesses and people who are thinking about, okay, how am I going to get into this game? It seems like a lot of work, a lot of effort. What do you guys do when you're planning out your content, and how do you get over a creative block? How do you get past the creative block and then keep generating or keep producing content that people are interested in? And I'll hit the clock. Go for it.
Okay, so recently I had a block in terms of Instagram growth, especially. So I actually reached out to a forum. So there's something I signed up to back in the day. I signed up to like an influencer bootcamp. So I did that course, and the part of that course, you get to be in this Facebook group where a lot of other influencers and people starting out share their questions and concerns, or try to help each other. So that was a great space for me to like say, oh, hey guys, I'm struggling. My hashtags seem to be really working like well the past 6-7 months, and suddenly stopped. Is anyone else experiencing the same thing? And I realized a lot of people were struggling the same, like feeling the same way. So reaching out to other people who are going through the same thing, or they can give you advice, but also you feel like motivated to try harder, because other girls were saying, oh, if you find out anything, like let me know, like we're struggling as well. So then I went back to Instagram and tried to start posting in a different way. So I used to just post like a still picture, but I changed it up to doing carousel posts and little short video posts and see what worked, like changing it up a little bit and then looking through my analytics to see that, okay, the carousel posts were performing better. So then I went back to the forum and told everyone. But yeah, that community, if you can have like a community of friends or someone else who's doing influencer type work, you can ask them or try to come together. And
that network, was that put together through the bootcamp?
Yes, so this one was, her name's Christina Galvado, so it's an American influencer. She has a boot camp called Influencer Bootcamp. It was really good. Yes, so I did that for her.
I think all owners should do Influencer Bootcamp. I'm going to do Influencer Bootcamp. What a great idea, because then it helps you kind of like springboard and just like,
yes,
you know,
it really, really gave me that kickstart, like really gave me all the framework to how to monetize social media, how to reach out to brands. Yeah, how to plan out your content and things like this. So
I'm going to write a note on a notepad. I know it's old school, but I'm going to write a note and it's in front of my face. Right.
Yes.
Been writing.
Amazing.
The oldest people on the call writing things down. That's
100%. Look, I'm lucky as a photographer. I'm lucky. I've got some brilliant clients that have some amazing clothing lines. So, you know, if I post one or two pictures, then they will share them, but then they will post pictures on their websites that have got a lot of followers and they tag me into it. Okay. And a little story, Lisa, you were saying that you were in the markets and struggling, and, you know, I just wrote an article about the Zimmerman sisters, right? We all know the label.
Yes, of course. I love them.
Know the label, right? Yes. Now, the sisters, right, in 2011, right, they were selling their clothes in the Paddy's market to see what people liked, to see what alterations they needed to make, to learn.
That's
right.
That's
and
great.
2.5 years later, you can now find their clothes, right, in Beverly Hills. You'll find them in Paris. You'll find them in London, Saks, Harrods. You'll find their clothes everywhere because they listened to what the average person that went to the market wanted, and they never changed their design. They kept true to their original style. They never changed. So and today, if you walk down the street and you see a girl wearing a Zimmerman, you know it's a Zimmerman. You know, right? They've never changed.
Sure.
And that's what I like about your clothing line. That's what I like about your fashion. You have never changed the actual original concept of what you're doing. Yeah. So I know it's a struggle, and I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? I know what you're doing.
I should just leave you together.
I'm not just saying I know what you're doing. I'm saying I know what you're doing. Okay.
That's great. Yes.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Yes, I keep doing it. I'll keep true to myself.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that actually is testament to a lot of brands that have been highly successful, have stuck true to a very particular value statement, a very particular identity, that they just take that identity and they might extend it here and there, but the foundation's all the same. You know, like you look at even brands like Porsche, brands like BMW, brands like even
Rolls-Royce,
Coca-Cola, Converse. You know, the essence of the brand is still the same, and that one piece, that one founding kind of stake in the sand, has carried that brand generationally. And you're right, a lot of it comes from the fact that they listened to their markets. They drove what happened with the design and the R&D and the smarts behind it. And I think from our brand knowledge, what we create, that always has been the foundation of how you build a great brand. Because what ends up happening with a brand, and you probably found with your own brands as well, is people start to relate to them like they're a human, like they're a person. They have like a life to them, right? And if a brand suddenly changes, think of it like a band when they suddenly change their musical style, and then everyone's like, they're rubbish now. They've become, they've sold out, because people have created this connection, this community around this object or this product or this persona that they connect with, that they relate to. And it doesn't mean you can't change, but what we say when you're going to do a change is you have to invite people into the change. So you have to introduce them to it, just like you would introduce a new person to somebody. And a lot of brands, that's where they rebrand or they reposition in the market, or when a brand changes their direction, that's where they fail, because they don't communicate it to their people and say, you know what, we love you. We're going to try something new. We want you to come along with us on this journey. They just go, here's the new thing. You know, good luck with that. And that shock value is what then drives people away, drives their market and the community away.
And 100%. And Lisa, you know yourself that the more successful that you've become, right, you're going to get the haters. You're going to get the people saying, "What are you doing?" You've already had it. I've seen it.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
I've seen the stories. I've seen the comments, right?
Yes.
And you just don't engage, right? There are crazies out there. You just can't engage, right? You just like we've all heard that thing. Don't feed the troll. Don't do.
Yes.
There's logic behind it.
Yes. Or be like Cardi B, who thanked her haters because she was like, "That's who I need to thank for this award, because they're the ones who's watching my videos."
Yeah, true. They can't hate unless they watch the content, right?
Yes. I mean, yeah, if you're getting
100%.
paid, that means you're doing something that people want to talk about, get your attention, and it's a compliment.
Absolutely. And Lisa, I know you probably get it like I do. I get people ringing me up saying, I've got this one guy, he keeps commenting on my thing. I keep blocking him, and I know he's got a fake account. He keeps commenting. What do I do? Just ignore him. Ignore. That's why I say ignore them, because when people read the comment, they go, this guy's just like, wow, this guy's at the next level, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like a bully, right? It's just schoolyard bullying. They want to get a rise out of you. As soon as you give them what they want, now they've got you. And
if it gets beyond a joke, right? One of the little secrets is let them do 7 or 8 posts, different comments on your social media. They go one on that story, one bang, bang, bang. And then you just report it to social, you report it Instagram, boom, 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 boom. They get 3 complaints and their account is shut down.
Oh.
Let them complain. It's 3 strikes, you're out. So you let them complain on 7 or 8 and let them go. Then one night when you really feel like it, just go report.
Careful, trolls.
Okay.
Your boss is out. You can't get away now.
You are out. Done.
Yeah.
You are the weakest link. That's the one.
Amazing. So guys, I'd love for you guys to kind of wrap up your thoughts and obviously share your handles, etc. If you just want to give yourselves a little shout out.
Yes,
mine's easy. I'll go first, Lisa. Mine's easy, right?
Okay.
You Google that name. You Google that name, and all the links come up. Everything comes up. You Google this name. That one. That's it. Over to you, Lisa.
That's great. I'm gonna follow the same format. So yes, my brand is Lisa Simbangs, but my Instagram and TikTok, I've shortened it to just Lisa Banks.
Okay.
Lisa.
It's all on Google. I saw. I told your name. It's all there.
Yes, all there. So yeah, so it's all That's great.
Guys, thank you so much. That was a phenomenal show, and what a lot. Like, I love the energy. I also love the information. You gave such an expansion to the questions, giving insights into obviously both the positives and negatives of the social media world. And obviously there's a lot of things that people can gain, and there's a lot of benefits to it, and there's a lot of risk and I guess risk and reward. Maddie, you can speak to the camera too. But thank you so much for sharing both your wealth of knowledge, your insights, your experience, and hopefully people can walk away with this, looking at social media as a way of expressing themselves, but also connecting with people. And that's what this is all about, engaging, connecting with people. The idea, it's in the title, it's social media. It's a media platform for you to socialize, to connect with other people. And a lot of people often use it as a way of escapism, getting away from other people, isolating themselves. So guys, connect. That's what it's all about. Businesses, connect with your people. Treat your business like it's a person. Treat it like it has a voice, and let its voice be heard. That was there. That was my Facebook status after this hashtag. Awesome.
Have anything about trees and seeds?
Oh, I've been making a lot of farming references lately.
Every meeting.
Yeah, and now it's just you don't air my dirty laundry, my farming laundry. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Like, comment, share, and then if any of the people listening, you guys have ideas of other shows that we can do, things that you'd like us to talk about, or other guests that you'd like to join us on the show, please shoot them through. And we always love a bit of a challenge. So if the concept is controversial, hit us up. Yes, Robbie.
On this platform, we can have guests from all over the world, correct?
Yes, sir.
Bam.
That's
Watch it happen.
Do it.
Let's
do
make
it.
this happen.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and have an awesome rest of your week. Thank you, Maddie, for filling in for Grant.
Maddie, you're amazing. Next time, Maddie, when he starts talking, give him a glass of water. Right? Yeah, we want to hear more from you, Maddie.
And on that note,
You drink this, it's my turn.
awesome, guys. Thank you very much.
That's great.
Never be on the show again.
Thank you.